BBC's 1995 rendition of Pride and Prejudice has emerged as an indispensable interpretation of the Jane Austen classic, and not solely due to Colin Firth's memorable soggy white shirt moment. This historical drama holds such a special place in viewers' hearts that amid the absence of fresh programming during the lockdown, it is currently being re-aired on BBC 4. As we anticipate Thursday's episode, let's explore the endeavors of the cast since the series debuted nearly 3 decades ago. Julia Sawalha as Lydia Bennet. Julia Sawalha portrayed Lydia Bennet in the 1995 BBC adaptation of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Sawalha made her first appearance in the 1982 BBC miniseries Fame is the Spur, and in 1988 had a minor role in Inspector Morse, appearing in the episode Last Seen Wearing. She gained recognition for her leading role in the ITV teenage comedy drama Press Gang, which received a BAFTA award and aired from 1989 to 1993. In 1992, she featured in the episode Parade of Bottom as Veronica Head, a charming young barmaid at the Lamb and Flag, whom Richie attempts to impress with fictitious tales of his adventures in the Falklands. From 1991 to 1994, she starred in the ITV family comedy Second Thoughts, and continued her role as Hannah, Linda Bellingham's daughter, in the British Comedy Award-winning Faith in the Future, 1995-1998. In 1994, she portrayed Mercy, Mary, Pecksniff in the BBC adaptation of Martin Chuzzlewit. Sawalha was romantically involved with Dexter Fletcher, whom she met while working on Press Gang. On 1 January 2004, sensationalist newspapers claimed that she had tied the knot with Alan Davies, her co-star in the television series Jonathan Creek. However, both she and Davies, who maintained privacy regarding their personal lives, refuted these rumors and pursued legal action against the publications. Susanna Harker as Jane Bennet. Susanna Harker depicts Jane, the lovely elder sister of Elizabeth, who always seeks the good in others. Harker has showcased her acting talent across various genres, including contemporary and classical works, across stage, film, and television. From 1990 to 1991, she starred alongside Clive Owen in Chancellor and portrayed the journalist Mattie Storen in the original House of Cards. In 2005, she graced the stage in Simon Stevens's play On the Shore of the Wide World at the Royal National Theatre. Her performance as Gwendolen in Charles Wood's Jingo at the Finborough Theatre in 2008 received high praise from the London Evening Standard, commending her impeccable portrayal. She lent her voice to the character Sapphire in Big Finish Productions' audio revival of Sapphire and Steel, appearing in 3 series of plays released on CD between 2005 and 2008. In December 2011, Harker featured in the BBC drama Young James Herriot. Returning to the stage in 2012, she took on the role of Sue in a London production of Mike Leigh's Abigail's Party. Early in 2014, she starred in the Gate Theatre, Dublin production of The Vortex by Noel Coward. Harker is a descendant of Joseph Harker, an artist and theatrical scene designer. She was formerly married to Ian Glenn from 1993 to 2004, and they share one son. Following her marriage, she was romantically involved with Paul McGann from 2006 to 2008. Additionally, Harker's siblings, Nellie Harker and Caroline Harker, are also actresses. Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy. Firth rose to prominence in British households with his portrayal of the reserved, proud nobleman, Mr. Darcy, in the 1995 BBC television adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. While performing as Hamlet in the year-end production at the Drama Centre, Firth caught the attention of playwright Julian Mitchell, who selected him to play the role of Guy Bennet, a gay and ambitious student at a prestigious boarding school, in the 1983 West End production of Another Country. His standout performance in Tom Ford's directorial debut, A Single Man, earned him the Volpe Cup for Best Actor at the 66th Venice International Film Festival in 2009. In the film, He depicted a university professor navigating through loneliness following the loss of his longtime partner. Firth's portrayal garnered widespread acclaim, leading to nominations for prestigious awards including the Academy Award, Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, BAFTA, and BFCA. He clinched the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role in February 2010. After winning an Academy Award for his portrayal of King George VI in The King's Speech in 2011, Firth hinted at his anti-monarchist views during a CNN interview with Piers Morgan. He expressed his fondness for voting while suggesting concerns about unelected institutions. Benjamin Whitrow as Mr. Bennet. Benjamin Whitrow was selected for the role of Mr. Bennet, Elizabeth's esteemed but financially imprudent and sometimes lenient gentleman father. Whitrow served in the King's Dragoon Guards during his mandatory national service from 1956 to 1958. He became a member of the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1981. In the original radio adaptation of After Henry by Simon Brett, he portrayed the character Russell. Whitrow's final projects included 2 radio plays for BBC Radio 4, where he portrayed the late poet laureate, Sir John Betjeman. His last completed work was titled Mr. Betjeman's Class. Tragically, he passed away during the recording of Mr. Betjeman Regrets. The voice work for the latter was finalized by Robert Bathurst. Both plays aired on BBC Radio 4 during Christmas 2017. Married to Catherine Cook, Whitrow was a father to 2 children, Hannah Mary Whitrow, born 1973, and Thomas George Whitrow, born 1976. Additionally, he had a son named Angus Imrie, born 1994, with actress Celia Imrie. Whitrow succumbed to a cerebral hemorrhage in Wimbledon, London, on 28 September 2017, at the age of 80. Alison Steadman as Mrs. Bennet. Alison Steadman was chosen for the role of Mrs. Bennet, Elizabeth's embarrassingly pretentious mother, striving for social advancement. Upon completing her studies at the East 15 Acting School in Loughton, Essex, Steadman began her acting career in various regional repertory theaters. Her debut was at Lincoln in 1968, where she portrayed the character Sandy, a schoolgirl, in The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. She has appeared in several television productions directed by Lee, including Nuts in May, Hard Labor, and Abigail's Party. Steadman also had roles in the BBC comedy series The Worst Week of My Life. In 2007, she was featured in the BBC Wales documentary Coming Home, which explored her Welsh family roots in Trefarclawd and Ruabon. Additionally, Steadman appeared in Fanny Hill on BBC 4 in October 2007. In 1972, director Mike Leigh traveled to Liverpool to watch Ted Whitehead's play The Foursome, in which Steadman was performing. Impressed by her talent, Leigh cast her in his film Hard Labor, and they later became romantically involved. They married in 1973 and welcomed 2 sons, Toby, born 1978, and Leo, born 1981. The family resided in Wood Green, London, until their separation in 1995 and subsequent divorce in 2001. Steadman is currently in a relationship with actor Michael Elwyn, and they live together in Highgate, London. Apart from her acting career, she is passionate about bird watching and became an ambassador for London Wildlife Trust in November 2016. Lucy Davis as Maria Lukis. Maria is observed attending various gatherings, initially appearing at the Assembly Hall alongside her elder sister, Charlotte. Jane eventually introduces Mr. Bingley to them to establish their acquaintance, as they are both her friends. Additionally, at the Assembly Hall, she is seen engaging in conversation with Mary. Later, she is spotted assisting Mary in turning the pages while she plays at Lukis Lodge. Davis made an appearance in the 3rd season episode Elephants and Hens of the UK television show Black Books. In 2006, she portrayed the host of Fashion TV on ABC's Ugly Betty, and later that same year, she portrayed writer Lucy Kenwright in NBC's Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. In 2008, she featured in several episodes of the U.S. series Reaper. Davis is the offspring of Hazel Jackson and comedian Robert Davis, popularly known as Jasper Carrot. In December 1997, she underwent a kidney transplant after being diagnosed with kidney failure during a medical examination. Her mother served as the kidney donor. Around Christmas 2005, she was once again hospitalized due to kidney failure, but she ultimately recovered. Additionally, she has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. On December 9, 2006, Davis wed Welsh actor Owain Yeoman at St. Paul's Cathedral, London. The ceremony was attended by fellow The Office cast members and writers. She was eligible to marry there because her father holds the title of Officer of the Order of the British Empire, and St. Paul's Cathedral houses the Order's chapel. Davis and Yeoman separated in January 2011 and finalized their divorce in October 2011. Crispin Bonham-Carter as Mr. Bingley. Charles Bingley is the sole offspring and inheritor of a prosperous merchant from the northern regions of England. He harbors ambitions of acquiring an estate and assuming the status of a gentleman, akin to his father's aspirations. Upon leasing Netherfield Park, he encounters and develops affection for his new neighbor, Jane Bennet, much to the chagrin of his ambitious sisters and haughty companion, Fitzwilliam Darcy. He had a minor part in Bridget Jones's Diary in 2001. During that same period, he featured in Season 4 of Absolutely Fabulous, portraying a landscaper named Jago Balfour, tasked with revamping the rear garden. Bonham pursued a teaching qualification from 2007 to 2008, subsequently dedicating a decade to teaching English and classics at Alexandra Park School, a comprehensive educational institution in the northern precincts of London. In 2019, he assumed the role of assistant head at Queen Elizabeth's School, Barnet, an opportunity he had long aspired for. Bonham-Carter is the offspring of Peter Bonham-Carter and Clodagh Greenwood, and the descendant of Rear Admiral Sir Christopher Bonham-Carter. He shares a distant familial connection with actress Helena Bonham-Carter and her sibling Edward. Bonham-Carter is wedded to Catherine Julian Dawnay, with whom he shares 4 sons, Anna Chancellor as Miss Bingley. Anna Chancellor, renowned for her role in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, portrayed Caroline Bingley, Mr. Bingley's sister. In 1997, she earned a nomination for the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress in a supporting role for her portrayal in Stanley at the Royal National Theatre, Cottesloe. She depicted Questela Rontok in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 2005. During the same period, she became part of the ensemble cast of BBC One's television drama series Spooks as Juliet Shaw. Additionally, she is featured in The Vice, Karaoke, Cold Lazarus, The Dreamers, Tipping the Velvet, 2002, and 40-something, and assumed a prominent role in the satirical dark comedy Suburban Shootout. In 2011, she assumed a supporting character as Lick Storm in the BBC thriller serial The Hour, garnering a nomination for the BAFTA TV Award for Best Supporting Actress at the 2012 British Academy Television Awards. 4 years later, she received a Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress nomination for her performance in Private Lives at the Gielgud Theatre. She serves as a patron of the London children's charity Seen and Heard. Chancellor had a daughter, Poppy, with poet Jock Scott. Regrettably, Poppy succumbed to leukemia on September 29, 2023, at the age of 36. Lucy Briers as Mary Bennet. Mary Bennet, the third and middle child of Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, is often overlooked. Briers attended St. Paul's Girls' School, London, 1978-85, Lancaster University, where she pursued theatre and sculpture, and subsequently completed a 3-year acting program at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, also being part of the National Youth Theatre. Apart from her acting pursuits, Briers was proficient in playing both the piano and flute. In 2007, Briers starred in Some Kind of Bliss, a solo performance by Samuel Adamson at the Trafalgar Studios, a role she revisited during the 2008 Brits Off-Broadway season. She featured in the BBC drama Einstein and Eddington, 2008, and participated in a West End revival of Chekhov's Ivanov. Her presence was notable in 2011 on BBC 4's 2012, initially portraying Anna Mitchell, one of the contenders for the role of curator of the Cultural Olympiad, and later appearing with obscured features as Laura, Ian Fletcher's spouse. In 2017, she graced the screen in Father Brown's The Tree of Truth as Prudence Bovary, and in 2020, she took on the role of Mrs. Reynolds in Jane Austen's Emma. Adrian Lukis as Wickham. George Wickham holds significant importance in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. He was the godson of the deceased Mr. Darcy, father to Fitzwilliam and Georgiana Darcy, and potentially received his name in honor of his godfather, adhering to the customs of the Regency era. Previously, he featured in various television series, including The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, portraying Bennet in The Creeping Man, Maigret, Miss Marple, Campion, The Strauss Dynasty, and Prime Suspect. His role as Simon Avery in Silent Witness Series 15, Episode 2, Death Has No Dominion, was noteworthy. On radio, he took on the character of George Vavasor in BBC Radio 4's 2004 adaptation of Anthony Trollope's The Palliseers. In 2016, he took on the character of Home Secretary Alex Wallace in Hated in the Nation, an installment of the anthology series Black Mirror. In September 2019, he revisited his portrayal of George Wickham in the debut of Being Mr. Wickham, a freshly scripted play co-crafted with Catherine Curzon and showcased at the Old Georgian Theatre Royal in Bath during the Jane Austen Festival. In 2020, he made an appearance in Mae Martin's comedy series Feel Good, assuming the role of Mae's father. Lukis took on the character of General Claude Auchinleck in the BBC series SAS, Rogue Heroes, aired in October 2022. Lucy Robinson as Mrs. Hurst. Louisa Hurst is wedded to Mr. Hurst, the sibling of Charles and Caroline Bingley, and the sister-in-law of Jane Bennet. She's notably portrayed Frau Clovis, aide to the Duke of Manhattan, in the Doctor Who episode New Earth, and Mrs. Elton in the 1996 television rendition of Emma. Additionally, she makes a solitary appearance in an installment of The IT Crowd as a potential employer to Jen. Her credits extend to her portrayal as Harriet Burgess in EastEnders, and a guest appearance in a singular episode of the BBC TV juvenile series Powers. In 2006, she undertook the role of Louise Mallory in Expiation, the concluding segment of the inaugural series of Lewis. She's also been seen in the ITV drama William and Mary as Mrs. Rick, co-starring with Martin Clunes and Julie Graham. More recently, she collaborated with Clunes in Doc Martin, assuming the character of cellist Holly. On the silver screen, she embodied Janie in Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, and Judith in The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. On stage in 2014, she inhabited the role of Liz, the younger iteration of Queen Elizabeth II, in the Moira Buffini play Handbagged. Lucy Robinson's vocal performances encompass Lydia Gwilt in Wilkie Collins's Armadale. Her father was the journalist and presenter Robert Robinson. She is wedded to the actor Nicholas Murchie. David Bamber as Mr. Collins. William Collins is a prominent supporting figure in Pride and Prejudice. He is wedded to Charlotte Lukis, the offspring of Sir William and Lady Lukis of Lukis Lodge in Hertfordshire. He is distantly related to Mr. Bennet and stands as the probable inheritor of the Bennet family residence, Longbourn. He also portrayed a junior Treasury minister and enthusiast of philately Julian Whittaker in an installment of The New Statesman, where Allen orchestrates Whittaker's downfall and coerces his resignation. In 1997, he starred as Eric Slatt in 2 seasons of Stephen Moffat's Chalk, contributing to the supplementary commentaries for the DVD release in 2008. In his theatrical endeavors, Bamber clinched the 1995 Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of Guy in My Night with Reg, a role he revisited in a 1996 BBC television adaptation. His contributions as a voice artist encompass Emperor Constantine in the Doctor Who audio play The Council of Nicaea, and as Jeremy Longstaff in the 2008 radio serial The Way We Live Right Now. Bamber is wedded to the actress Julia Swift, progeny of performers David Swift and Paula Jacobs. They share 2 sons, Theo, 1991, and Ethan, 1998. Ethan has represented England U19s and Middlesex in cricket. The household is situated in North London. Jennifer Ehle as Elizabeth Bennet. Elizabeth Bennet is the central figure in Jane Austen's narrative, Pride and Prejudice. She is a lady residing on her father's property, Longbourn, alongside her parents and 4 siblings. Ehle marked her debut on the West End stage as Elmire in the 1991 production of Tartuffe by the Peterhall Company, earning 2nd place at the Ian Charleson Awards. Hall subsequently selected her to portray Calypso in The Chamomile Lawn, 1992, a television adaptation of Mary Wesley's novel of the same title, where she and her mother depicted the same character at different life stages. In 2020, Ehle reunited with Jeff Daniels in the limited series The Comey Rule, which debuted on Showtime. Daniels and Ehle assumed the roles of former FBI Director James Comey and his spouse Patrice, respectively. Additionally, in 2022, she featured in various television endeavors, including the Apple TV Plus series Suspicion as Amy, the legal drama The Good Fight on Showtime as Judge Ashley Burnett, and the Western series 1923 on Paramount Plus as Sister Mary. Ehle exchanged vows with writer Michael Ryan on November 29, 2001, and they share 2 offspring. And that wraps up our journey through the cast of Pride and Prejudice from 1995 to now. It's been quite the adventure reminiscing about these beloved characters and seeing where the actors are today. So, until next time, remember to cherish the classics and keep the spirit of Pride and Prejudice alive. Thank you all for joining us.